We pulled our mirrors in and went through a really tight arch. We're getting used to squeezing the motorhome through tight spaces.
Right, where are you, Matthew?
So we're in front of the Beaumaris Castle.
Beaumaris Castle?
Yeah, and so it was built. It took 35 years to be built.
Yep.
And it's still not finished.
Still not finished.
Yeah.
3,500 men worked on it. It was built in 1295.
Yeah.
And it's got 2 lines of defences, an
And a
outer
moat.
wall and an inner wall, and a moat.
Beaumaris Castle is a beautiful castle in the north of Wales that was built as part of King Edward I's campaign to conquer Wales. He was at war with the Welsh when work began in 1295, and the building was delayed when he decided to invade Scotland. Work continued later, but after 35 years of work by a workforce of 3,500 men, the castle was never completed.
What are you guys standing in front of?
The smallest house in Great Britain.
Oh, okay.
I think I've seen it.
Smallest house in Great Britain, of course, that's what it says just there. Well, this is Conway. That little red building there, that's the smallest house in Britain apparently. This is a walled town with a really cool castle in the middle of it. And there's the castle over there.
After a great busk, we ran along the road beside the thick city walls and back to our parking spot with an amazing view of the castle.
Guys, what's going on here?
So we're counting the pounds.
Counting the pounds from the busking.
10, 10, 10, 10.
It's pretty good so far, isn't it?
Yeah. 1.
You doing the same, Hannah? You counting some pounds? Oh yeah?
Daniel,
You got a stack there, aren't you? Well done.
10 pounds. It was quite a cloudy day, and we were going to go inside our first castle. We bought our tickets and crossed the footbridge to the castle. We saw a 20-metre deep water well and climbed 40-metre high towers. Conway Castle was built by Edward I during his conquest of Wales between 1283 and 1289. It took 4 years with a workforce of 1,500 men. Its walls are 8 metres thick at the bottom. Built as part of a wider project to create the walled town of Conway, the combined defences cost around £15,000, a huge sum for the period. During this time, 2 Welsh brothers who were acting as carpenters took over the castle and were eventually paid off by the English after a few months to give the castle back. Following the outbreak of the English Civil War in 1642, the castle was held by forces loyal to Charles I, holding out until 1646 when it surrendered to the parliamentary armies.
We're on our way up to the Lakes District, just going past Manchester at the end of the day, so we should get somewhere, I suppose, just as the sun's setting, hopefully. Just think about sucking on your dirty socks.
Today we had the longest drive. Gladly, we all jumped out of the motorhome and went for a walk down to the lake. There was a rocky waterfront patch where there were geese, ducks, and a really weird bird that looked like a chicken crossed with a duck. We removed ourselves from all the mosquitoes and went back to the motorhome.
Okay, so where are you guys at the moment?
Castle Reed.
Castle Reeg in the what district?
The Lake District.
Lakes District. Yeah, it's a bit of a grotty day, but there's a
Tractor.
there's a stone circle here that dates back to 3,500 BC.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. There are around 1,300 stone circles in the British and Isles of Brittany. They were constructed as part of a megalithic tradition that lasted from 3,300 to 900 BC. Circles were used for burying the dead and other ceremonies.
way to Edinburgh in Scotland, and when we got there, it was an amazing view. It's the main city in Scotland, and it's pretty big. Once we were parked, we decided to walk up to the top of King Arthur's Seat. It is a very steep volcanic hill, and when we arrived at the top, we had some food while looking at the amazing view.
Okay, Matthew, where are you?
We're at Holly's Head.
Holyhead in Edinburgh.
Yeah, and we're sitting on the top of King Arthur's chair.
King Arthur's Seat.
Yeah.
Pretty good view down there of Edinburgh and stuff.
And
Pretty cool.
we could see right across Edinburgh. There are massive hills surrounding the city.
Today we were going to go for a huge walk around Edinburgh. We walked around the Scottish Parliament and up a hill with some huge monuments. Then we passed Edinburgh Castle and walked down a busy road. Recognised as the capital of Scotland since the 15th century, Edinburgh is the seat of the Scottish Parliament and the official residence of the monarch in Scotland. The city's historical and cultural attractions have made it the United Kingdom's second most popular tourist destination, attracting 1.75 million visits from overseas in 2016. The earliest known human habitation in the Edinburgh area was at Cramond, where evidence was found of a Mesolithic camp that dated back to 8500 BC. Traces of later Bronze Age and Iron Age settlements have been found on Castle Rock, Arthur's Seat, Craiglot Hart Hill, and the Pentland Hills.
Yeah, sit up here, hop. Hip it to the hip hop, he don't set the bucket to the bam bam boogie.
Big as it gets when it comes to the owl.
Yeah.
Top of the tree, as it were.
It was really cool touching the owl. It was the biggest species of owl in England. The male owl is a bit smaller than the female owl, but it is still very big.
As you can tell from earlier, the wind is real. These clubs do fly in the wind. Go on, chuck one up, see where it lands. Whoa. Bravo. Good catch. Right, okay, so I'd like the first club, please, right in my hand, on 3. Let's try that again. On 3, big man, right in the hand. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. You're going to throw it right into my hand here, and I'm going to go into a juggle. When I'm juggling, you guys are going to clap. Yep. Capiche? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Yes!
The Isle of Skye is a tourist destination, and it is known for its huge mountains and scenery. You can see golden eagles hunting for their food and soaring past the tops of mountains. We saw some snow on the mountains for the first time in the UK, but they were a long way away.
Why are you in your socks?
Right, Ashley, where are you?
Well, we're about to walk over to the Donan Castle.
Right, okay, that's that thing behind you there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, yep.
Doesn't really look much like a castle though.
Well, it's called a castle, I suppose. It's been in a zillion movies, so we're going to go and check it out.
And it's very famous.
Yeah, we'll go and find out a bit more about it later.
Donan is a small tidal island where 3 lochs meet. Loch Dwitch, Loch Long and Loch Elsh in the western Highlands of Scotland. Since the castle's restoration in the 20th century, a footbridge has connected the island to the mainland. In the earlier 13th century, during the reign of Alexander II, a large wall was constructed that enclosed much of the island.
We just had a night at Donan Castle and we're off to a little village called Plockton. This is a very narrow road to get there.
After crossing a huge bridge into Scotland's most popular tourist attraction, we started embracing the world-class scenery of the Isle of Skye. Tall mountains stand proud and still lochs are splattered around. Farmhouses and old buildings are just standing and sheep roam Scotland's tallest hills. Highland cows are a Scottish cattle breed. They have long horns and wavy woolly coats. They're coloured red, ginger, black, white, grey or tan. Highlands are raised primarily for their meat.
After a day of catching up on the laundry, we were driving when we saw a bunch of cars parked beside the road. We put some warm clothes on and started to walk up the really steep hill in the mist. On the way, we saw some enormous black slugs hiding in the grass.
Okay, Hannah. So, whereabouts are we?
We are at the Old Man of Store,
That's right.
and we are in the Isle of Skye,
Yes.
in the clouds.
Yeah, up in the clouds, about 20 kilometres north of Portree, where we just spent the day getting some laundry done and bits and pieces. And we've just climbed this hill. Took about an hour, didn't it?
Yeah.
And we're up in an amazing view, aren't we?
Yeah.
Hey? Pretty good
We're
view.
just gonna go up there.
Hey?
We're gonna go up there.
Look at that view. We've got to get down yet.
Driving along thinking we'd lost the day to doing washing, we were looking for anything we could do. We saw a bit of a hill and we hopped out for a climb. We didn't intend to go as high as we did, but seeing the peaks in the distance, we went as high as the clouds. The Old Man of Store has its name because that tall rock on the hill looks like a face with a beard.
Dunvegan has lots of long weedy grass, and in some places there are small white cottages. Dunvegan is famous for its castle. It looks similar to a house, but it's not. It was a grotty day, so we found a nice place by the water and watched some small black seals jumping in the waves. Dunvegan Castle is located just north of Dunvegan town and has always been home to the MacLeod clan. The castle is built on a rock 15 metres above sea level.
After a few days travelling around the Isle of Skye, we drove through the rugged landscapes and tall hills once more before leaving. We saw even more scenery and drove back across the bridge to Scotland. The island has been occupied since the Mesolithic period, and its history includes a time of Norse rule and a long period of domination by Clan MacLeod and Clan Donald.
Glencoe has an enormous mountain called Ben Nevis that is the highest in Scotland. Stirling used to be the old capital of Scotland. At the heart of its town, medieval Stirling Castle is on its craggy volcanic rock. On the Abbey Craig outcrop, the National Wallace Monument overlooks the site of the 1297 Battle of Stirling Bridge, where William Wallace defeated the English. Castle Hill, which Stirling Castle was built on, forms part of the Stirling Sill, a formation of quartz dolerite around 350 million years old. This formation was modified by a process called glaciation and now has formed what is known as a crag and tail. It is likely that the natural feature was occupied at an early date, as a hill fort is located on Gowan Hill, just to the east of the castle.